Can you tell us who you are and when and where you were born?
Randy Gofton, born in 1960 in Kitchener at St. Mary's Hospital,
And what county were you a junior farmer member of?
Waterloo County.
And how did you first get involved in junior farmers?
I got dragged to junior farmers with my two sisters that were older, and they dragged me out to a car rally and a sock hop in a guy's garage later that night.
And then how did you more get involved? Did you have a choice after that?
Waterloo County had a lot of sports. We always went to Cecil Cornwall in the wintertime and played volleyball and basketball, which I really liked, and so I enjoyed playing sports, and so that drew me in at the start, and then that just led to more things, and as I got older, of course I started participating more.
And how many members were there in the county at the time?
I would say there was around 40 active members and about 80 or so members that were on the list, but not so active.
And where did you meet for your meetings?
The monthly directors' meetings were at the OMAF office in Waterloo, but meetings were held across all of Waterloo County. In fact, there was a bit of competition whether it would be in the north end or the south end. I think it tended to be more in the south. In the north, people would complain because they had too far to drive, but it was all over the county.
Where were most of the members located in the county?
I think there was slightly more in the south when I was in it, and by the end I think it was growing more in the north actually.
So it was pretty
It was pretty broad spread, yeah.
And how was the junior farmers' name spread throughout the county? Was there someone specifically or some group that was carrying a banner and advertising it?
Well, we tended to get in a lot of the local newspapers, New Hamburg Independent, Air News down my way, and I think the Elmira paper carried some of our community betterment activities, and OMAF sometimes advertised, and of course we had a monthly newsletter which would let all the members know that was part of their fee for the year, so they would know what's coming up in the next month and they could plan then.
That was a question I forgot to ask Merlin. What was the fee? How much did the fee cost to be a member?
Honestly, I can't remember. I know it included postage. That was the biggest cost. And OMAF printed all the newsletters for us. I was a newsletter editor for 1 year. So we'd get together. There'd be 3 or 4 of us on the committee, and we'd, for sure the president would always be at the newsletter editors meeting and go over stuff that's going to happen in the next month. And then that would be printed and sent out to all the members.
Now you've already touched on it, but can you tell us more about what was socially done in the county?
Well, Junior Farmers' motto was self-help and community betterment. And so we were always trying to see how we could reach out to the community. One thing that comes to mind is we had advertised in the local papers Slave Day, and what that meant was they could rent us for a day and to do yard cleanup, like clean eaves troughs. I know the one place we shoveled coal into a basement, so that was quite the job. And then we raked lawns and stuff. It was a spring slave day. We went to the Sunbeam home and we pressure washed wheelchairs. We repotted plants. Whatever they wanted us to do. We went to Preston Springs retirement home. We did bingo, and we got in trouble for that because when they won, they wanted a prize, and we didn't have a prize for them. So I think we gave them $1 or $2 or something to make them happy because they really complained. But yeah, and whenever we did these things, we tried to get it out into the newspapers and stuff, so that the community would know that Junior Farmers wasn't just a bunch of kids, you know, not doing good in the community. So we wanted to make sure that they realized that we were doing, bettering the community.
Was there a negative overtone of what Junior Farmers was?
There could be slight overtones in a few instances, not so much for Waterloo County, because Waterloo County kind of had a reputation of being an abstainer for alcohol, and sometimes that was a controversy, but at the same time, our county didn't seem to be a big drinking county, but some of the other counties in the province had a bit of a reputation where there was some damage done in some of the community centers and halls and stuff, and not necessarily even junior farmers that came, but just people that attended the junior farmer dance got out of hand, and some damage was done, and then of course that's negative, and you're always fighting those negative thoughts.
What were some of the other fun things that Waterloo did as a club?
Mystery bus tours was a big one. We had soccer tournaments, tennis tournaments, a lot of sporting activities. We had provincial dances, zone dances. We'd host events like winter games and summer games. We would, then that was always shared within the zone, like you would bid for it a couple years ahead. It's almost like the Olympics, basically. We would bid for when we would get the next winter games and stuff, kind of thing.
How active was the zone?
Oh, we had a good zone, really good zone. I thought it was very well attended. We had every sport you could think of, from like in the summer games there'd be javelin, discus, shot put, all the running events, high jump, you name it. Whatever you had in high school, we had in junior farmers, and some pretty good competition. I know in basketball, of course, being 6'6", I played a lot, and we won every year except the first year I played. I think I either represented Waterloo County or I was on Oxford County. Like they could pick a couple players from your zone. So I played for Oxford County, I played for Norfolk County, and we won every year that I played, except the first year. Had a lot of fun. Sorry, what was the question again?
Were there other provincial competitions you were a part of?
Soccer, sing swing. My sisters won the square dancing for Waterloo County the one year. I personally tied for first in sing swing for jiving, the jiving competition, and was part of the showcase at the end of the night on Rogers TV. I never did see it myself because I don't get Rogers, but it was on TV apparently. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Eventually you became top dog in the county. Can you talk about how that happened?
That was through elections, and it's a process, because usually you start out as just becoming a director, and as a director for a few years, and the more active you are in the club, the more opportunities you would get to be elected to a different higher position, and so it's a stepping stone over the years. And as you know, the older members step out, they want a younger one to step in that's been basically trained, I guess, and it's just a natural procedure, I guess. So.
Do you remember any specific things from your time as president?
I remember being invited to one of the 4-H meetings to speak on behalf of junior farmers, and I got up and spoke at the New Dundee Golf Club where the meeting was, and sparked some real interest with with some of the 4-H members, and they actually joined junior farmers. So that was rewarding, and I was fortunate to be president for our 70th year in Waterloo County, so we had some extra activities planned, and yeah, so.
Expand on those activities. Let's hear about that.
Oh boy, we put on a play that had been put on years ago, and my parents met in the same play many years ago, and so we put that play on again. Arsenic, what was it called? Arsenic in Old Ace. What else did we do? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
What other provincial activities were you involved in?
Provincially, I would attend like the March conferences. I went to communications workshop, Bark Lake Leadership Camp.
Which year did you go to leadership camp?
I can't remember. Well, it would have been about 79 actually. I think it was 1979.
Okay. What happened at leadership camp?
Leadership camp was a real challenge for me. At leadership camp, we were divided into groups, and they were. I was a McNeil. There was the McNabs and a whole bunch of clans, and in each clan, you were always given tasks, and you were to stand up and challenge the other clans to different tasks and stuff, and depending on how you gelled with your own clan, some just had the right personalities and stuff, and they excelled, you might say, and they stood out right away. The clan I happened to be in didn't mesh very good. In fact, they almost split us up because there was so much conflict, and I know myself, I got along good with so many other clans, and they kept saying they'd take me in, but of course that wasn't allowed, and it's a training ground, so you have to learn to adapt to people. So it was a challenge, but coming out of it, I remember going for an interview with my communications teacher at the college the very next year, and she says, "What happened to you over the summer?" And I says, "I don't know." And she says, "Well, you've changed a lot." I said, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." She says, "You seem so much more mature." I said, "Oh, really?" That's nice. I said, "The only thing I can think of is I went to Bark Lake Leadership Camp." So it must have challenged me and helped me to mature that year. That's the only thing I could attribute it to.
Who did you go with to leadership camp from Waterloo?
I think it was Sherry Quayle. I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember now.
Okay. How did you get picked?
I'm not sure how they did that. They just I'm not sure.
Okay. What kind of activities were there at leadership camp?
Well, the biggest thing was all these challenges, and honestly I can't remember what the actual challenges were, but somebody would stand up and challenge the rest of the clans to do an activity or something, and then you'd have to work as a team and do it. But specifics I can't remember.
Okay. How did you get chosen to go to communications workshop?
I was the editor for the newsletter that year, and so it was kind of a newsletter communications workshop. So we would work on how to set up newsletters and just basic communications. I remember they had a guest speaker from Dale Carnegie come in, and he spoke to us, and I remember him saying like he would, to remember names and stuff, there'd be word association sort of thing. So Sandy, you think of sand, and that sort of thing, and he'd just do word association. And he went through the whole room, never met any of us before, and he got every name right. just by going, you know, Randy Candy or whatever, Sandy Sand, and then he went through the whole room and he got all our names right. I can't do that, but I do that word association though, to remember somebody's name if I really want to remember it.
Where was the workshop held?
Sorry, I can't remember.
Was there anyone you met in Junior Farmers that became a big part of your life?
I wouldn't say there was any one person, but there was a lot of people. I've had a lot of friendships over the years that have been maintained through that. There's a group within the county, especially. Not all of us have junior farmer wives or husbands, but we all get together yet as a group.
Is there any personalities that made Junior Farmers interesting for you that you'd like to just touch on?
Oh, in life there's all kinds of different personalities and different backgrounds. I mean, I was a pig farmer, there's dairy farmers. Pig farmers and dairy farmers don't necessarily see eye to eye. Marlon likes International, I like John Deere. So there's always that controversy. So it just makes life interesting because we have different backgrounds of family life, interests. There was rural and there was urban kids, so we had different personalities there, and just our upbringing and stuff. So it made it a challenge sometimes when you worked on committees. People didn't see why we would spend money on this, and some would say no, you shouldn't, and you should, and so it created arguments, but it was conflict that you had to reach a consensus with. And that's why directors' meetings were important, and parliamentary procedures were very important, so that the meetings were kept on track, so that things actually got accomplished and accomplished fairly.
What was the relationship like between the government and Waterloo Junior Farmers?
I think we had a close working relationship with OMAF. Like I said before, they would print off our newsletters and stuff, and they would help set up a lot of the provincial, the larger meetings and venues. Counties would work with the government, I guess, sort of to accomplish some of those things. But like if you did say, like I remember when we did Sing Swing, that event's a huge event, or it was in that era. We had over 1,000 people at the dance, so, and it was held at Bingman Park, and so that's a big undertaking.
How did Junior Farmers change you as a person?
I think it develops you over time. It's a gradual process. I don't think it's any one thing. It's you play team sports, so you learn to work as a team there. You plan committees. You have to do public speaking. You have to be able to go out, reach out to the community and talk to possibly reporters. You have to talk to businesses to ask for sponsorship or for just direction and stuff, for things that you can use throughout your life.
And how did it change you specifically?
I guess it helped me become a better farm manager, to run my own business, to help in the community. I served as a director for soil and crop at one time. I've served on the church board. So it just hopefully has made me a better person for the community.
What have you done since you left Junior Farmers?
I guess took over my parents' farm and been managing that for over 30-some years now, and I have a daughter, and she's at University of Guelph now in crop science, or animal science, I should say. And I don't know, helping out when I can in the community.
If you could say something to a junior farmer member today, what would you say to them?
I would say get involved, and I would say try and get on committees and try to do community betterment projects. And just, it's so much fun. Like every weekend we were busy with activities, whether it's going to another county's dance or playing a sport or just doing something in the community, and it just helps you to develop as a person.
A few questions I forgot. What were some of the unique things or traditions that occurred in Waterloo?
We were always at the Hamburg Fall Fair, and usually we couldn't sell hamburgers because the Lions Club, I believe, sold, or Rotary Club, one of the other clubs anyway, had hamburgers, so we weren't allowed. So we always had pork sausage and sauerkraut. That was our main item. And Wellesley Apple Butter and Cheese Festival, we were always having corned beef on rye. We were known for that. And when we went to Elmira Syrup Festival, it was crepes. And those are the three main things I can think of right now.
Tell me about the Little Barn.
The Little Barn? A friend of mine, Kevin Cressman, and I kind of came up with the idea because our food booth consisted at the time when I first got involved, was just about 3 sheets of plywood to make a U shape with some 2x4s or whatever, and they would join it together, and then they put a tarp with pipes. There'd be tarp to try and keep any rain, but if it really rained, we got soaked. So we wanted something more portable and a little more fancy and more inviting to the people. So we come up with this trailer idea, and it became the Little Hip Roof Red Barn, and I think it was quite successful, to be honest.
Any other questions I forgot to ask?
No, I think that's it.
Any other stories you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so.
Well, thank you very much.
Calling wood stays in calling.